Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Gael Tunga Rutembesa and I'll be your host today. For what you might ask, I'm getting there. Have you heard the word licensing? Have you heard the term trademarks? I'm sure you've heard of copyrights, but many of us don't know what these things actually mean or what they are for. Well, they're all part of what we call intellectual property, and that's what we are going to be discussing today, very first episode of this series. So, joining me today will be Mr. Blaze Ruhima, who comes from RDB, specifically in the division of intellectual property. So, it's going to be a fun and insightful discussion. So, stay tuned. This is the Office series. So today, for the first episode, we have Mr. Blaze Ruhima, who works in the Division of Intellectual Property at Rwanda Development Board. Welcome, Mr. Blaze. So, protecting intellectual property is essential for every company or organization or even individuals, right? So we'd just like to start with asking, for those who may not know, what exactly is intellectual property?
This is an interesting question. It's a question they ask us every day. Intellectual property is about our life, our daily life, because what we have today and what we have around this office are all intellectual property. Acquiring an IP, it's about a specific right and how you can use it exclusively. And the IP is about what we are thinking and what we are creating from our mind. And when you materialize it, protect it, you acquire a specific right for a specific time. For a patent of invention, the protection is given for 20 years. For an industrial design, it's about 15 years. For a trademark protection, we have an exclusive right for 10 years, but we have to renew your protection after that period. And for the copyright, what we are going to talk today, it's the whole life of the author plus 15 years after the death of the author. I can give just an example of music. The music we are playing here, I don't know which kind of music you like, because from my generation, we have Michael Jackson, we have Bob Marley. We're still playing Bob Marley music or Michael Jackson music. And those music are specific for an author who have the rights of that man. Even they are not there. They have people, their daughter or family who are benefiting to those music. Now, to come to how to protect an IP or a copyright, the copyright must be original first of all, and we need to identify the author of that copyright, and also to have their work in intangible form. We can't register an idea, because when you have a song, let's consider a song with a title, I Love You. I can have the same idea to do a song with the same title, but the way I'm expressing it to be different. You need to express what you have in your mind, put it in a tangible form of expression, then you can get the protection. Simple as that.
That's really interesting. You've mentioned even just like, let's say, for example, the camera we're using even to shoot this series right now. It's an idea that is protected by intellectual property. Here at Blue Oceans, we are a creative agency and we deal with a lot of creative communications for our clients. We produce a lot of videos, documentaries, radio advertisements, and many as such. And there's also other creative agencies out here as well. Just like us, we're learning about intellectual property. So, in the context of a creative agency now, and also with Rwandans becoming more aware of the importance of this, would you please tell us, would you please expand more on the importance of intellectual property, but now in the context of a creative agency like ours?
I think the only way to have your content protected is first to have your content registered, because the registration in Rwanda it's optional. This is the main principle over the world. In many countries where you find convention applying in that country, except in US, they have a mandatory requirement to have a copyright registered in the US to acquire right. But in Rwanda, it's not necessary to have your copyright registered in our office. The day you have an idea and you put it in a tangible form, you are already protected. Now, coming to our office to register and have that certificate just for an administrative purpose. I have another position when it comes to have your content protected. In many situations, I think the better way to have a content protected is first to have in your office mechanism how you can manage it easily. Because if you are 3 or 4 people in the same office coming with different idea, you can put it together and have a joint ownership of that copyright. It's possible to have a joint ownership of a copyright, or to have a solely ownership of the copyright. Now, first of all, try to manage the ownership of the content in the office by establishing a mechanism how you can have an agreement between staff, and also go beyond your office when it comes to deal with someone else. Every time make a contract in which contract cover the intellectual property aspect. It's allowed, I think, when you identify the source of the content you use owned by someone else to prevent plagiarism.
So, Mr. Blaze, thank you so much for taking your time and coming to share all your expertise with us. We definitely have more to learn, but the nuggets you've given us today, I believe, gives us a good foundation, especially for those who don't know. So thank you so much. We'll be looking forward to learning more from you. So there you have it, a very interesting yet very broad topic, intellectual property in this context, but not, limited to creative agencies. Protecting all your assets, your videos, your TV commercials, your written articles, your scripts, etc. It is really important for us to know, be aware of this and be on top of our game about it, So yes, so that's it for our episode today, intellectual property. We'll see you next time on the Office series.